Damage.
Let's explain to you why we are going to avoid combat. These are our damage options.
Awkward
Let me just
situation.
add sneak attack onto that. Ooh, wow, it's 7.
At least I can attack twice.
On that one, I can't. On that, like, 1 of 4 that I hit with, I did 7 damage. And those were with above average rolls.
I can get at most like a 19 on an attack. Well, I can
You'll
also
make me just very
change...
sad.
My average damage is 6 with sneak attack.
Well,
it's 2.5 with power.
So Keeper Arana kind of sits before you, Learned Korax behind her and to the left, Learned Celine to her right, and I believe you last left off with her giving you the story of what happened on the island long ago, that the Shapers had kind of left behind a lot of the Serviles, and over the years, what happened to them. So to Charon, they really kind of explained in depth what happened to the 3 groups. You had the Abandoned, who decided the Shapers were cruel in the fact that they had left behind with no hope of survival the Serviles. And these people moved out west on their own. Unfortunately, at the time, wanting to be separate from the Traditionalists who insisted that waiting for the Shapers is the best thing possible, they chose the worst part of the island to live at, barely scratching out a living. To the east moved the Forgotten, those that decided the Shapers were not cruel in their intent, but also didn't care, and chose that instead they would be better than the Shapers ever were. They chose the best part of the island to live at. It was easier, but unfortunately there were more creatures around, even though they were weaker. So it was kind of hard to scratch a living out here. The rest stayed in the south, with a mix of both creatures and problem living.
That's unfortunate for them. Charon is probably going to scribble down some of these into his notebook, because this is kind of interesting to him.
Okay.
First contact with the society in how many thousands of years? Not thousands.
At least 700 years from last contact with the civilization.
I'm not going to be able to write down every little thing he puts in his fucking journal. If I try to put it in his gear, it's going to take up 12 slots.
Yes.
Of what I
do
write
believe
down.
There's a note-taking place. You could also write it in your character's backstory, which is go to the main screen of your character, and then let me see here. Where's that?
You also put under additional gear.
Yeah, no, but if you go to your bio and info, you can take notes there.
Mm-hmm.
There should be an edit in the upper right corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be the best place to put it. Okay. So what else do you want to do with this conversation? I mean, they just kind of stand there, other than the one sitting.
Well, since what exactly in character happened to the rest of the party? Are they just sort of vibing?
Kind of vibing behind you.
Cool.
One of them seems to be clipping into a wall there.
He's trying to cut time off of this run, but it's not going well.
I borrowed a platter from one of the rooms.
Basically just gone off to...
So I guess the first thing it writes down is that there are 3 separate tribes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, McGroot has just sort of got his, the bridge of his nose is, between his fingers. Just man, give me a lifetime to process this mess. Please. Just...
So
I mean,
one must be
look,
better.
look.
Yeah.
I took this job because it was literally the only job I could take. I was expecting to move boxes or something. And here I am. How are you guys so okay with this? Like, I get these guys, they had more time to process it, but like you and you were just, oh, we're stranded on a desert island which may or may not have any life on it. Let's just go and start a camp. Have you guys done this before?
I assume my character like had some training because the survival thing.
Yeah,
It-
yeah.
like that would be his first priority, and then he gets to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Anyone who went through the training definitely has survival capacity as far as making a camp and figuring out what they need to survive.
And right now is Sharon going through the what is going on phase.
Yeah.
So one's trying to be better than the Shapers. What were the other two?
Let's see.
So you have
One has-
self-reliance, depression, and waiting for the second coming.
There you go.
I put little notes behind them, but they're very poorly done.
If you take a look at their names, it becomes a little bit easier to understand their kind of perspective on the Shapers. You have the Abandoned, the Forgotten, and the Traditionalists.
Alright. So I've got that written down. So, where can we go from here? Didn't we have like a few quests that like, I guess, are the short talkers on the map wanted us to do?
Sorry, excuse me. I do believe they asked you to look at some creatures in the area and perhaps kill them for them.
How do they feel about, instead of killing them, just having them run away?
That works in the short term. I'll give you that.
It does.
You see this animal? Alright, now close your eyes and turn away for a minute. There, you don't see the animal before. Surely we've defeated it. Or
I was saying I don't
surely.
mind. So, I guess first off, Charon thanks the, what'd you call them? Servants?
Serviles.
Serviles. First off, he
Their
thanks
species
them
name.
for all this information.
Oh, we are quite pleased to help.
We need to come up with nicknames for these guys.
What?
I mean, it's too many syllables. We need something that's easier to say.
Do you need anything
Friend.
from us?
Oh, did the group ever sort out how they're going to handle eating food? I assume from hunting and like survival in general.
Possibly survival in general. Fishing might go well at the early beach if you keep going back there.
I might offer that when I'm free, like if there's ever downtime in the campaign, I would like to learn more about their culture and like just in general how they do stuff around here. In exchange, I could just like, I guess just help around and like tell tales of the outside world.
Hey, telling tales is my job, man.
Okay, I'll let you tell tales through
Yeah.
me.
Tale telling.
Tail telling.
Tell.
I don't
I do need to make
actually-
another roll really quick.
Look, I don't have that as a
Okay.
class skill yet. Give me a level, and I'll have it as a class skill, and I'll actually be decent at it.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, so yes, they just continue to talk to you about whatever it is you're looking for. They do ask if you need anything from the village they have here.
Anything, everything. Give us all your money. No, just kidding.
We don't exactly have anything to trade with them with, except for my 1 copper piece.
Well, I mean, that's sort
Do
of
you say that to
what
them?
we can get at. Well, no, I mean, we can get after that. Like, they've asked, what do you need, not what do you have to give us in exchange for what you need. If you're
Well,
being
I
generous,
would-
like,
I would tell them that if we ever need anything, we'd ask. I don't think we currently need anything.
All right, so
I could ask about like if they have like any, I guess, ships or of the sorts that we can just leave
They
at some
actually
point.
do not recognize the word ships.
Okay.
Oh, you mean dragon targets? Um,
Okay, Charon like starts to describe floaty wood on water for traverse over without sink.
So they follow what you're talking about, but they're they have no cultural recognition of this object.
Oh. So in English they don't have ships.
Yes,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
not
They don't
even
have
a
craft
basic
ship.
boat.
like imagine telling somebody like 100 years ago, "Hey, do you guys know where the hypertube station is?"
Ugh.
I would imagine they weren't that much of Neanderthals. I'm sure they had to go on the ocean to like fish or something.
I
You
mean,
know,
they
like
haven't heard the word before. Like, and we don't necessarily know that these guys fish. They seem to just sort of perform the task they were given and continue performing that task ad nauseum. Like,
I could ask the what's her name?
Keeper Arana.
Oh, I could ask her if they could give us some information about like local wildlife since we're not familiar with it. So we can use that information to better deal with the last people's problem.
What do you wish to know?
Pretend that I am a small child that knows nothing about the animals around here.
Well, I guess
Because
I
I
would
have no
teach my
clue.
child that to avoid most animals outside the wall, I think. For serviles are rather the weakest of the Shaper creations. Animals that are out there tend to be more powerful than us. Even with great years of training, we tend to fall rather easily to their abilities. There are reptiles that have been known to spit fire and ice according to some of the older legends. There are dogs that tend to spit acid, and I have seen some spit lightning in the past.
I guess while she's
Uh,
talking, Sharon is writing this down in his
she
journal.
talks as well that there's at least been a couple dragons seen in the area. Though she does call them drakes.
well, if somehow survive this, they saw some decent stories to tell.
Yeah. Um, not quite sure what else to ask. What is the general, like, I guess, opinion of the other tribes to each individual tribe? Or at least to how's the Forgotten feel about the other two tribes, just in general?
Keeper Arana looks at you and says, I hesitate to mention this. I am of the opinion that our brothers and sisters have been treated terribly, and we would love to invite them here to help them. Unfortunately, throughout the years, our peoples have not gotten along well. For instance, the Abandoned have been known to send spies and saboteurs towards us. We believe they are at fault for causing an upswing in rogue numbers in this area over the years. We do know that they were the first to kill another servile in the fact that they killed Keeper Eldra back in the day. We know that the traditionalists tend to spy on everyone, though we have not seen or found any of their spies recently. We know they happen to spy because we know that their spies tend to steal food when they're in the area. We haven't noticed any shortcoming recently.
Right.
We would still welcome them as they are brothers and sisters to us, though.
Hmm. Right. Anything you were gonna ask them? Because I think I'm running out of ideas. Hello? Afrude?
Yeah, sorry.
You good?
Yeah, still kind of iffy. No, 'cause here's the thing, right? Is like I still have to sort out what the heck is going on. Like, I don't know about you, but I have never been in a situation where you get something splashed on you and suddenly you get magical ability. Like, magical abilities on their own are a bit of a stretch from what I know.
You're right.
So, for me, I'm still trying to come to terms with this. Like, maybe give me a bit just to sit. Like, nor if I can put it to words, I'm usually okay with it. But I still need to come up with those words to say, you know?
Okay.
I wish more people showed up because I'm not as capable of like leading a party.
Ah. Yeah, it
You
does
got it.
kind of become awkward when you're dealing with less players than a full party. So with a full party, you can kind of bounce ideas off each other. With less than that, it becomes a little trickier. I'm hoping that sometime during this, the others show up, and perhaps you can
Something that I
always make
just
the
thought
journey
about
back.
is like, something I just thought about was, sorry for talking over you.
Oh, it's okay.
I almost want to ask them like how much stronger slash weaker are they compared to us. And I just realized how not great that sound. Like my idea is to, like figure out like what like their power level is, I guess. That way I can sort of measure how strong the what are they called? The animals are, I guess.
You could
You know what?
ask to see their best fighters and perhaps gauge yourself against them.
That is a good idea. But I'd also just like to, you know, that like meme that's like, how many 19 or what, like 8-year-old children can you kill before they overwhelm you? I want to make a roll to determine that.
Okay.
To judge how much of a child murderer you can be?
Yeah. How many of these serviles can I kill?
The few you've seen as guards
I don't have to roll anything.
tend. This is an
You get a
observation
half.
check, so a perception would help. But I would say you have seen them wear various armors and weapons. And, oh, yes. So they tend to wear more medium and light armors. They also tend to wield an eclectic assortment of weapons, mostly blades, the occasional spear. You do see some carrying an odd device. It seems to be a branch with a flower bud at one end.
I
Not
mean,
sure if
we
you.
saw the like wands and stuff earlier, right?
Yes, I wasn't sure if your
Yeah.
group had or it was another group. So
So that's not the question I asked. What I ask is how many of them could I kill?
Okay, they have
Well,
armor, so you
getting
can't
down
hit
to
them, and
that.
they have weapons, so they can kill you in 2 hits.
The
You're level
point
1, man.
is,
If you're lucky, you
you
can take down
feel
one.
that they seem to be at least well equipped. In comparison, they probably have a few levels on you, as far as metagaming goes.
Oh. So what you're saying is I would not be able to kill any of them unless they were actually a child.
You should probably not even be considering that.
Yes. At least
Oh,
for
well.
right now. I mean, perhaps later.
At the moment, we are the weakest things on the island.
It's
other
not like
than,
you can
a
roll
crab.
sense motive. They're NPCs. They'll never suspect anything.
The thing
from
is,
me.
these are like the most NPC of NPCs too.
Mhm,
I have a feeling if you like ask a question the same like twice, they will answer the exact same way each time.
They might.
Oh, yeah,
Or
that's
I
literally
have
how
another
they're
version
built.
if you'd like to try. My favorite joke, and probably it's very accurate on this island. Ask them to do a check of some kind. Any basic check.
I feel like that'd be mean to ask like the leader of it. Oh, hello. The leader of them all to do that.
There's their assistants, the advisors, if you'd rather.
Maybe you made it. I think.
Someone joined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
Marble! Hey! Yay!
Hey, a minute. Cool.
So you might have an extra hand
But-
here talking to them.
Yeah.
I
Was
mean,
Macrude the one? Was Macrude the one who wanted the like heavy armor but literally couldn't bring it with him?
No,
Oh,
I think that was Marvel.
Oh.
Mostly because, remember, I'm a friggin' rogue, really? Yeah, let me go and get my full plate as a rogue.
I mean I've seen it done.
Yeah,
Jeez.
here's my full plate and my battle axe. Let me go and rogue at people.
Now, what do you need my assistance for?
I was kind of I was thinking about asking if there was a way that we could, unless one of you happens to have a bunch of like copper coins on you, how we could be able to like get some heavier armor for someone.
Well, we found some armor when we were in those ruins.
Yeah, the
It depends if you
time
want to,
barrel.
like... yeah, you can possibly do it if you can calculate every single one. If you have a specific range you want to do it at, such as, like, say, I have a range of, like, above 8, I would have to have plus 8. Along those lines.
Hmm.
That's one way I probably believe it.
Keeper Arana kind of looks over and asks, "Are you speaking of armor?"
Oh yes. We
Ah.
were curious. I've noticed you all carry like relatively light armor for what we've seen outside the island.
We
were
have
curious if
armor
you-
for trade.
Actually, that brings up a question of note. Pull out a copper. I have a few. Be like, so this is your preferred currency, yes?
Ah, yes. Many of the lessers are able to use those.
Yes. Pull out a silver and a gold. Do you have any real stance on these?
She kind of reaches for you to pass them as soon as you
Yeah.
pull them out.
Presume. I mean, I assume she's going to give them back, and if not, then we'll have to make sure she does. So, yeah, I'll...
So
Just
she
tie a
examines them
string to
and
it.
is just utterly fascinated. I have not seen coins like these in many, many years.
Well, there goes that plan. I was hoping you had a cachet or something you weren't using, because...
I hate to say it, most of my kind, even back when the Shapers ruled, rarely saw these. For the most
No,
part,
they're
we
very
tend
rare.
to trade in favors and jobs, and very few tend to collect coins because coins do not do much for us.
I mean, I understand fully.
This says a lot about society.
So, y'all monks,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go meditate. Contemplate the greater mysteries of the universe.
Oh yeah, I just remembered that like apparently I was the only one who saw it, but like when we were swimming, what was it that you sent?
That
Like an
was
explosion?
well back.
That's me, I
ago.
didn't see it.
This was long ago in another
I
time.
was too busy trying not to drown to death.
Fairly certain it had to do with some checks that you guys made, but I'd have to go back and consult
Oh,
my
here
notes
it
at this
is.
point.
Something about flash of fire.
Yes, I do believe you saw a flash of fire as you were trying to move around underwater.
I was gonna ask if they knew anything about stuff, since they don't know what a boat is. I was curious if they know about something that would like, I guess, shoot something that's offshore, like try and destroy it.
The only thing Keeper Arana can think of, she mentions, if you're talking about something that could attack in the water or offshore, as you say, perhaps one of the dragons, the drakes, they could do something.
so no guns.
Yeah, oh, and the artillery pieces. Have you considered...
Do you have cannons?
Where is your anti-aircraft turret?
What is a cannon?
I was joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
However,
Big tube, shoot ball. Ball big, kill person.
Do
do
you
have
mean a
a
wand?
Metal big ball that can kill people and giant ships that were on the water. She adds in, helping out,
Um, s-
How do you add
she-
that in? Because you don't speak Shaper.
I just tell him some descriptors of like what a cannon could be.
And she's like, that's very nice, Miss Person speaking language I don't understand.
Yes.
I'm sure you've said a lot of things that really matter, and we appreciate your input.
And we
I
good news.
just
We've
go
been
ahead
in
and tell. I go ahead and tell Sharon. Would my character have dealt with cannons before?
kittens.
No, I'm talking to Felice.
Oh.
Your character have dealt with kittens before. Yes, possibly has dealt with cats. I mean, cats are relatively common.
No, kittens
Cannons.
are illegal.
Not
On
Oh.
cats. What?
I heard kittens, and I
Yeah.
was like, what?
No, kittens are legal. Kittens are against the law. Like,
Would you have dealt with cannons? Yes, there were some on the boat.
She
We've
would
been
have
in this room
probably
for
told
37
Sharon-
minutes.
She would have just probably told Sharon this. I think that some descriptors, if you can do it, are like, big metal ball.
Because Sharon has never seen a cannon before.
No,
Do
Do
Sharon
they have
had.
boats? She asked.
we asked that before you got here. They basically don't know what a boat is.
They understand,
bow.
like,
Oh, bow, like shooty pew pew. Got it.
Yes.
They actually asked a question that I think you must have missed as I was. You were talking, but do you mean a wand when you start talking about cannons?
no. Okay, what is a wand? Is it those sticks that have like a
she
flower
turns
on
to Korax and asks him to go fetch something. You're not quite sure what it is, and he leaves through the front entrance behind you guys. He will return momentarily with a wand.
a wand? I'm not sure what the equivalent is, or let me try that whole sentence again. I'm not sure what a wand is to you all, but back where we come from, a wand is basically a stick that you point at someone and then it casts a spell.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you cast such spells?
I can't. I can cast one spell, but it's not a good
She
spell.
then could she point herself at herself or something? Just
No, you can't point at yourself. That's impossible.
You can point at
I mean,
yourself.
If you break
no,
your
I
finger,
don't have
it's
hands.
Alright,
I
so
don't
what you
speak
do
any
is you grab your index finger and you snap the knuckle back,
Ooh.
so it's facing towards you.
That worries
So
me.
you can cast spells.
No, I can't understand, so I don't say anything.
I can also, relay it, because my only use is as a translator.
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
You're the skill
Pretty
monkey.
sure we are all supremely useless in every way, shape, and form.
I think what you want to really do is at some point here on the next level up, get people to learn the language.
I can.
Somewhat.
I can just teach. Can I teach people, or do they have to take a point in linguistics?
They
or
would have to
whatever
take a point in
first?
linguistics to learn a language. They can learn any language the party knows or someone they are associated with knows and they can communicate with.
I'll have enough spare skills I can get a point in there too.
We've been in this
There you
room
go.
for 40 minutes. We should
Look, man.
probably do something.
Possibly.
Honestly, that's not that unreasonable. These guys don't seem impatient. Let's actually get some info. However, I do have something to ask them.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, well, you would be willing to translate.
They kind of focused at you because you seem to be talking a lot to Charon at the moment.
So, and presumably they would want nothing to do with these places on their own, given they're trying to be independent from what you say. But I am curious if there are any sort of like what we found before, like Shaper sites or ruins or whatever.
You guys did ask that, and that happens to be where all the pentagram, the stars, are on the map.
Oh,
Oh, right.
Those are what you
I
described.
forgot about
so the one that's in the Forgotten Circle is the one we were already in.
No. You happen
Oh.
to be where that little blue and teal triangle is. I made that so you guys can move it around and kind of show where you're at roughly on the map.